You're videoing it. Are you videoing it? Take a picture. Oh, look at this with the zoom in, zoom out. Not a girl.
Got a steady hand.
Sweet Caroline is designed by Glen-L, and I really liked. I would call it an East Coast Dory, but I like the shape with the front, the bow in the front, the transom in the back. The basic boat was what you'd probably call a big open fishing boat capable of carrying probably 6, 7, 8 people. And it was originally designed with an outboard motor in mind, which was supposed to go in a well inside the boat. And I picked the boat. A friend of mine gave me a motor. It's an air-cooled, 20-horse air-cooled Wisconsin. It runs to a transaxle. The motor, the transmission is what I built. I built the transmission myself. All the deck work and the bright work is cypress. There's a lot of steam bent oak. It's my first boat. There are parts on the boat that have been in my family 40 years, 50 years. There's parts on the boat that I've carried around for 50 years. My wife, Jean, did all the sewing. All the upholstery is done by Jean. The boat it doesn't have a dozen hours on it, unfortunately, but it worked exactly as I hoped it would. The balance came out perfect. It's 3 to 5 knots. It's made for chugging. And it handles 5 people very comfortably with all the weight that I added. It had nothing to do with what Glen-L had designed. Other than that, that's the boat. Yeah, the trailer's all built just for the boat. The boys also helped. My grandsons, those are the ones you took. The boat's named after them, in fact, the QZ Bell, Quentin and Zachary Bell. My daughter helped us turn it over, and the boys were there to do the drawing of the lines where I couldn't reach. And I built it in my shop. Had to cut the doorway out of the shop to get the boat out of the shop because it wouldn't fit. And it's about a 1.5-year project.
Okay.
How's that?
Oh yeah, so
Two-cylinder,
Two-cylinder air-cooled Wisconsin. You want to hear it run?
yeah.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
It sounds really cool.
What,
You want to hear it?
Chug it, chug it.
Today. And that sailboat is a dive site now in Bantam Lake in Connecticut.
Really?
Well, the boat sank, and Scott goes, "You want it?" I said, "Hell no! It all got bashed to hell. I mean, I don't want it back." And he goes, "The whole thing is, like I say, it's that's a tire. The tire actually hits the wheel and runs it backwards, and then when you want to go forward, it actually tightens the 2 belts. That's how that works, and it works. I mean, it's really kind of cool. It's a nice setup. I even laminated the boat box, the battery box. I made my own quadrant, the steering quadrant. I didn't know how those worked, and so I made it. It's made out of plywood. It's all hand done. And the cables and the layouts, I ferreted all that out. Most of it I reasoned out myself because I really, strangely, I can't read. There's a disconnect when I read the words. They don't register.
Dyslexia?
It's worse than that because
What's the backward letters?
No, that's easy. that's a walk in the park. No, I have. I don't know what the learn is. Anyway, I don't know what it is, but yeah. So I can't read instructions, so I have to look at pictures and reason things out.
Picture of your wheel there.
I made this. I made the steering wheel while I was waiting for the plans to come for the boat. There's 5 different kinds of wood in that.
And that's copper too.
And it's copper tubing. That's 1/2-inch copper tubing.
Well, but
Through that.
hardware eye bolts.
That's where they come from. That's from Ace. That's from Ace. These are oak chair legs from Lowe's. But then the center part of the steering wheel,
Are the chairs on your dinettes only got 3 legs?
gone,
now?
gone. Shit. And then I didn't get enough. I had to relay it all out because I didn't get enough. But then I made, there's a lot of pieces. There's
Yeah.
layers. There's 1, 2, there's actually 3 layers, but each layer has a number of pieces. Oh, and what's also cool, inside here, this thing is, when you steer it, there's a sprocket up here. Goes to a chain. On the end of the chain is the cable which hits the pulley system that runs the whole to make that all so that it works. There's a lot of trips in and out to get it so that to come up with all those little. Do you see how that works? It's a
Yeah, that's slick.
number 50 chain.
It's real simple.
Yeah, and there's a sprocket inside here. Making the shaft was tough because it's got Jesus clips, I guess you'd call them. And there was bronze bushings, and I cut a Jesus clip so you could slide it all together. Because if you look in here, you'll see the sprocket. This isn't on here yet. This is funny.
I love you. Where'd you get your compass?
My father-in-law never parted with anything, and now he's getting
That is
senile,
slick.
and he gave it to me.
He wasn't realizing what he was doing.
Yeah, I guess, it could be. But if you look down inside there, you'll see the sprocket, the shaft, and everything. That's how the whole, there's the works in the drawer. That's how it all works. A lot of trips in and out of the boat to make it work, though. A lot of trips.
That's slick.
And there's all the bronze bushings. They came from the. Now my compass is out of sync. I don't know where north is. What was I saying? Well, I don't remember, but it was.
Your kids. There's a lot of trips in and out of the
Oh,
boat.
in
Your
and out
kids.
of the boat is because I built it in the shop when it was sitting this way. I had built staging, so if you want to cut something and fit and try, you have to keep getting in and out of the boat, to do that. So there was a lot of trips in and out of the boat, but it was fun. Yep. And reasoning out this, the locking system for the boat, for the reverse, when you pull it back, you want to have it in reverse, but you want it to lock when it goes into forward. That in itself was a day to come up with to come up with a way. It's spring loaded.
Yeah, I see the spring.
There's a spring with a stainless steel bolt, and that's a off of Tappet, a valve spring. That's what that's off of. Well, you needed a strong spring, to hold tension against it so it didn't rattle. Yeah. That's all 3/16 oak. I steam bent 3/16 inch pieces and laminated the corners. Yeah.
Beautiful.
The floorboards, this is cute. The floorboards, the kid who used to work for me, took apart my sister's hot tub in her upper bathroom. And he goes, Porter, there's a bunch of stuff up here. He goes, geez, there's some beautiful redwood. And I said, wow, that's cool. He goes, yeah. He says, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with this, but if you can use it, take it with you. So I hauled that back, and that's what's the floor. That's what that pretty stuff is redwood that was in my sister. She doesn't even know it yet. That's the funny part. They're coming down. I'm going to take her for a ride in the boat. I got the wood out of there. Yeah, I mean, I've saved stuff and reused it. Yeah, it's never ending. Yep. And the buttons we got off of eBay. They were off of a Navy trench coat. See the Navy, the pea coat, the little Navy symbols. They came right off of a Navy pea coat. Jeanette got them on eBay. Yeah.
Slick.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
36 sounds like a Harley.
Yeah.
Right. It's a wet exhaust, but it's dry exit above the water, and it sounds like that.
Well, see, he made his own transmission. Made his own steering system in there. It's a sprocket with a chain on the sprocket that hooks to the cables. Yeah, look at the steering wheel.
That's copper tubing from Ace.
Copper tubing.
Yeah. Mostly everything, really, all the stainless, all that kind of stuff, that came from Ace. Yeah, they love me down there. Oh, they rub their hands together. They go, "Good, come in here." Oh God, yeah, it's good. And then I went to Connecticut for a month and a half, and he goes, "Where have you been?" I meant to send you $20 every once in a while just to keep them, Yeah.
Do you have any water cooling?
No, it's air cooled. Yeah, it's air cooled. So Wisconsin air cooled. Wait, I opened it up just like that. No, it's off a sander. A buddy of mine gave it to me off a sander. It was rebuilt 12, 14 years ago, 15 years ago. And I told him what I was thinking about doing. He said, hell, build your own boat. He says, I got a motor for you. So my father-in-law gave me the propeller and the propeller shaft. I made my own stern tube. I took the bearing. I got one of those, the bearing, and I built the bearing around that fit the propeller shaft, and I just reasoned out all the stuff and took pictures and, ferreted how things are supposed to fit. And it really works quite well. It balanced like I thought. I kept working it out because I really wanted the boat to balance in the water with me in the boat. And it did come out nice. The balance came out really nice, and it cuts the water really pretty. Yeah, and it's a one-man thing. You can launch it really very easy. And I did all the trailer. I built the trailer myself so that you can walk down it when you launch it. You can, it makes it easy. Yeah.
How'd you hook up at the other end, this end of the prop shaft? How's that hooked up?
There's that's, you want to see that? I'll show you. It's cool. This is a lot of work to do this, but it has a sprocket. You guys will enjoy this. There's and I didn't, what I had to do, works in a drawer. Your bolt motor, so I'll take it all apart for you. Okay, so see you've got you have a universal joint over to a sprocket to the chain, and the propeller shaft is there. So in essence, what I built that's a
V-drive.
V-drive, right? I mean, that's what it is. Yeah, it's a V-drive. Well, now you can really see all the works. You can see how everything is. There's a sprocket here, or there's a universal joint on this end, and that's a floating bearing on that end, so that it gives just enough play, so that the shaft will work. When I first did it, I used a 3/4 inch shaft with a keyway cut, but it flexed. So the whole boat shook. I mean, he said, it drove me crazy. And I talked to this guy, I said, well, you got to go to a bigger shaft. So I turned a new shaft, and that took care of it all. It made it all work like it was supposed to. So it's fine. It's quite quiet now. There's no shit. Oh, this is funny. When I first did it, I couldn't get the belts. The belts, you couldn't seek, because the belts kept grabbing, so they'd want to run it one way, and then you put it in reverse, and it'd go the other way, and you couldn't. Talk to my son, and he goes, I said, gee, Cor, I got to come up with something. He goes, well, you just need a little keeper on both sides. So I see that piece of copper pipe? To try it, to see if it'd work. Well, it's still on here because it works so well. All I did was put a little keeper so the belts just barely touch. When it's in neutral, the belts just barely touch that copper. As soon as you tighten it, it pulls away, so it doesn't hit it. And that holds the shape. That's enough to keep it from jumping. Yeah. Yeah.
That's some ingenuity.
Yeah. Many trips in and out. And there's bearings. Those are all brass bearings on the top of that shaft. And down in the bottom, there's a brass bearing. So it's all floating in something. It's not just in wood. Yeah.
They've already extended our
9/24/06, and I launched it at 5/21/08. Yeah, so it wasn't too long.
Time job, right?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. It looks really sharp.
Thank you. I appreciate that.